Hello, hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Zilby's here too, but I think he's just outside of the camera range. No, he's right there. Hi, you want me to throw something for you? Also, good morning. Hello, you are my Nakama. How are you doing today? Bixze, hello. I cannot pronounce your username. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so, we are done. Well, as done as we're probably going to be on the normal streams for the JavaScript-based to-do app, because we built out the full front end, we built out the full back end. I haven't finished testing for the front end stuff using Cypress, but that can come a little bit later. That just needs to be done before I finish like the full course. The next step is we're gonna rebuild the front end in a technology called Yew. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit worried about my the central heating furnace that we have here. It's been super cold in the morning, and it doesn't like it puts out warm air, but yeah, it's like cycling on and off, which is a little bit concerning to me. So I may have to figure that out. Cool is unfortunate, especially since when I woke up this morning, in fact, right now, it is a nice -2 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Also might be why the furnace is struggling a little bit. Captical raiding with a party of 4. Hello. Welcome. Have you gotten past the advertisements that Twitch throws at us yet? How are my adventures in TypeScript? I didn't do TypeScript. I did just JavaScript. Just good old normal JavaScript. Captical, how was your stream? What were you working on? Stream is okay, struggling to get Array Fire set up in a Nix shell. I don't know if I know what Array Fire is. A general purpose GPU library? Is it for programming on the GPU like CUDA or Coda or whatever stuff? Oh, it's a tensor library. Oh yeah, okay. I have never done any, it's a linear algebra tool that you use for your next project. Oh, cool. I have never done any like that kind of GPU programming. Like all the GPU stuff I've done is using things like GGEZ that does, I think, this kind of stuff behind the scenes. Cool. That sounds really interesting. Well, we're just getting started here. So as we alluded to with my JavaScript previously, I've built a full stack to-do application in JavaScript. So that means an Express backend. We're using Postgres as the database, and I created the front end in Vue.js. So if I come here to localhost, here's my lovely to-do app. And so we're gonna create a course on rebuild it in Rust. But the first one we're gonna choose is Yew.rs. So Yew is it's a WebAssembly based framework. You build it in Rust, so it's like 100% programming in Rust. There's, obviously an HTML and CSS element too. And then that's pretty much it. Now it's WebAssembly. It's component based. They're trying to set themselves up to be similar to React and Elm, and it's I like it. It also seems to be the most popular of the ones that are out there. So that's why we're gonna start here. If it says Elm should feel at home, life should be okay. I've never used Elm, so I've heard really good things about it. But like once I started with Rust type stuff, I'm like, well, I just want to stay in here for a bit, make myself comfortable. So we're at 0.19.0 is what we're gonna play with. And that's what the last time we took a look at Yew, that's what it was too. So I think that I have everything set up for this, but we need to update our Docker Compose stuff for this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new branch for this. And this is probably gonna be almost basically the most boring version of Haskell. Think enum types, pattern matching, and pure functions. Oh, really? Okay. And then Elm is only for creating web stuff, right? Like its primary function is just to create web as the output. Or remove lifetimes and JRX from ruts, and you have Elm. Oh, really? Okay, that's pretty close then. So let's do plain. So I want to make this like the solution. So I guess like I'll do view on stream. No, Yew on stream. Or Yew solution. We'll do Yew solution. Oh, but you get monadic do syntax, which you don't get in Rust. Okay, so you have a little bit more features. Oh, okay. Oh, that's too bad that I don't have that. Interesting. I thought I would have that icon show up in chat, but I guess not. We're over here. I think if Rust had monadic do sugar, you'd be more into it. So because I've not used Elm or Haskell or several of the other functional languages, I wonder what that would be like. Maybe someday we'll have to check it out. Okay, so we're over here in our branch. What I want to do is I want to create a new section here for you. So this is gonna be front end. We have this JS view. So I'm gonna create a new folder, Rust. And then I guess Yew inside of here. I don't know if I create Yew or if I do it like an init. Oh, we need to make sure we have the latest version of Rust too. That would be helpful. We're gonna use Docker for this, so we should be fine. We need to install this WebAssembly target. So let's figure out how we do that inside of a Docker container. So I guess then in that case, I'm gonna create not a new file, a new folder. I'm gonna call this Yew. And we're going to do the same thing we have here. We're going to put a Docker file in here. And all the code is going to run inside of here. Well, thank you again for the raid, Chiroptical, and have a great rest of your day. I believe that there is a Rust Docker container, maybe. So Docker search Rust. Okay, there it is. Rust. Okay. So Rust definitely exists here. So can I do, let's see. Let's do a Docker run, automatically remove. I want to connect into it. Let's expose a port. What ports are you going to run on? We're going to use trunk for this one if we can. I want to say it's something like 3,000. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't say in the documentation where it's going to go. I want to say it's 3,000, so I'm just going to guess. 3,000, 3,000. Going to use Rust and override to bin bash. Apparently I have something running on 3,000 already, so maybe not that. Oh, is my server on 3,000? I bet my server's on 3,000. Let's try. You're running on 8080. So let's try 8081, and then we'll have to set up trunk to serve on 8081 instead of whatever it wants to serve on. Okay, so here we are inside of a Docker container running Rust. So let's first check what version of Rust we have. So Rust up show. This is 1.58. Stop update. No additional updates are available. So 1.58, is that true? Thought 60 something was out, but maybe I'm. Oh no, 58.1. Okay. So we're on the latest version of Rust. We want to add you to the list of dependencies. Okay, so I want to add in basically u equals 0.19. So let's go ahead. You know what I don't have here that I do need to? A volume. So let's just slowly build this out. Okay, from Rust, I want to tie it to a specific version. I'm just going to go with our main one, which is 158.1. Do they have like a where I could just do 1.58? Oh, they do. Okay. So we'll get any minor changes, but it'll stay on 158. I also want to remind myself the Docker file reference here. So we have our from. We have potential run commands. Okay. The command that's gonna run from this. Okay. All right, back to this. I want to set a volume. So. I want a volume of /code. That's where we're gonna, well, store all the code. So this is gonna be oh, I'm not in Yew. Okay, so hold on. pwd / front end Rust Yew, and send that to /code. I think I should see. I'm able to get into /code here. I saved this. Why am I in JS? Okay, so the Rust somehow went into there. So hold on, let's fix this too. I want to move front end JS Rust to front end I see. Okay. So let's try this again. You go into there. Oh, come on. You can do it. Let's see. Not reading it here. You're not reading it here anymore. So let's move you. Front end JS Rust Yew. Docker file to front end Rust Yew. You're owned by the code space. Who am I? I'm the code space. So you're owned by code space. Oh wait, are you owned by like root because you don't exist? Oh, Docker, did you create that? So to remove front end Rust. Sudo remove force front end, rest. Now let's move front end, JS, rest to front end, rest. Just front end. Here we go. Now we have that. So I should be able to run my Docker run. It'll grab the rest Yew, throw that in there. There's our Docker file. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. Now, back to Yew. So we have our volume code. The next thing we want to do we want to do a cargo init to set up our project. That should show up in here. Ah, there it is. Okay. Then we want to make sure that we have just this Yew. Okay, so name of this project. This is going to be our Yew to do. I guess I'll just call this Yew to do. I don't know. The version number, I don't think we're really going to care about. I'm not publishing this to Creates.io, so I don't need to worry about version. Edition, latest, that's fine. Okay. So we'll start here. Update main.rs. I could throw everything in here. As main.js. There. And a lot of this will be rewritten anyways once we actually start for real, because we're not going to throw everything into main anyways. Okay, we have to create an indexed HTML file in the root directory of the app. And just throw in basic HTML file. That is going to be right here. I do need to make sure that we add these because I think when we took a look at the targets, we don't have that in here. Yes, we don't have this showing. That worked just fine, so we need to make sure to add that to our Docker file. Then we need to cargo install trunk. Along with a bunch of comments, but that's fine. It's always really nice when just this works. Oh, I guess this is the first time we've done any cargo install type things in this code space, so, or in this Docker file. So it's going to take a while to actually like update all the stuff, figure out where things are. I just increased the size of that Docker file by a decent amount, probably. The fun part about Rust streams, waiting for the compilations to happen. Especially on code spaces with very, like, only 2 cores. Much slower here. I don't have Docker running on this Windows machine, but I do have a new Mac that I got, and I want to set that up so I can stream with that, maybe capture it with this Windows machine, and that will be significantly faster. I've already tested it, and it is faster than this device, and this desktop is beefy enough. It's able to do this type of compilation extremely quickly. Epic, hello! Did I just start with you, or have I been working on previous streams? Today is the first stream that we're working with you for... Well, wait a second. Today is the first stream we're starting at this time, but yes, I have worked with you in a I think 2 different times in previous streams. The last project that I did with you on stream was the holiday gift card project. We didn't even use Canvas with that one. It was just like plain DOM elements, which made it a little bit slower than it should have been. Next time I have a holiday that I want to create a gift card for, we can try it again, but using Canvas or something. Homeless, hello. So this is Rust. So this is the language is named Rust. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Or have you heard of it, or are you familiar with Rust? Or how familiar are you with Rust? Maybe a better question. Never heard of Rust. Awesome. Okay, so Rust is a programming language made by Mozilla, the company that makes the browser. They made it specifically to help them rewrite their browser from C++ to this new language Rust. And the main like claim to fame, or the thing that draws people to Rust, is the memory safety aspect of it. Basically, Rust doesn't let you do anything that could cause massive memory bugs, even small memory bugs. Those are, I mean, doesn't let you, maybe that's like a little bit too strong, because you can do unsafe and then actually cause those type of problems. But basically Rust makes you, like, forces you to like big giant lights surrounding all possible code that could have those type of bugs in it. And those are the bugs that have like the security holes that like Microsoft did a study. I think they said something like 80% of their bugs, maybe more, are due to like these memory holes, and that just using a language like Rust that has this memory stuff built in will close all those memory gaps or all those security gaps. Other things are that it's made also, so that's one side. The other side is it's made to be as fast as possible. So because of that, there is no garbage collector. So it's similar to C or C++ in that aspect, as opposed to being more like Go or JavaScript or Python or Java. So it's sort of like got a lot of high-level language perks that we're used to with more modern languages, but at the same time, it allows us to run fast and safe. So it's a nice blend of both, but the cost for that, and you're gonna see it, is programming it is just, it's very different. It feels very different, and for someone new coming into and trying Rust, it can feel difficult until you learn how to read your error messages and understand what they mean. Then it becomes a lot easier. Epic, you're curious about Yew, but you never got around to using it yourself. Oh yeah. This is gonna be interesting, I think. Okay, so that installs Yew. Let's go ahead. Oh, sorry, that installs Trunk. Trunk is what we're gonna be running. We're gonna be using to run this. So run cargo install Trunk. Then using Trunk. Yes, we've already got. We created our index.html file. Okay, we can just do a trunk serve. Why am I running it inside of a Docker? So the reason I'm running it inside of Docker is because, let me show you my Docker file. Docker compose file. It's gonna be running sort of in this entire system. So I have a Docker image or container really running the database. And then I have another one running the Node.js Express backend. We're running just the front end for this, so we need to use this Express. So Express hits the database. JS View is what we just spent a bunch of time running, and that hits the database also. So we're going to add a new one in here for Rust. And then that way, everything will just sort of like, just one command and it all comes up and we can use whichever ones we want to use. So that's the reason why I'm putting it into a Docker files. Also, because this is going to be a course eventually, I want a really easy way for people to set this up and start going and not have to really understand Docker. It's not a course on Docker. It's a course on Rust. Oh, well, it's a course on, Rust. Okay, so we do that. Go ahead and run this. We're gonna do. Nope, don't install again. Okay, cargo. No, trunk. Serve. So it compiles all this stuff, and it uses something called WebAssembly. So if you haven't heard of WebAssembly, that is you can think of it like a new language. It's basically the founders of a bunch of different people came together, but like one of the people was like the founder of JavaScript, and they're inventing this WebAssembly language that can run in all the browsers, but really fast. And the main reason you'd want to use it is you can pre-compile all of your JavaScript into a very small package that runs extremely fast in the browser. And you can, because it's a standard, you can target this WebAssembly from any other language. So for example, you can write Rust and it targets it. Okay, so this is going to 8080. So there's a really cool thing that we can do here. Let's see, we've installed quite a bit of it. Can I want to X out of here. So we want to expose port 8080. I think that's expose 8080. And then I guess our command is trunk serve. I think we're ready to try out the Docker file. Is there anything else we need to do? I don't think so. So I'm gonna do a let's see, cd into. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can do it from here. Docker build the T. We're just gonna name this Berserker trunk, Berserker Yew. And then the source, this is front end Rust Yew. So I can allow trunk to run on port 8080, and I can just set the port forwarding using Docker to forward that to 8081 out on this side. So then looking at Docker Compose, we're going to do Rust Yew. Okay, so build front end Rust Yew. Volumes. Front end Rust Yew 2/code. Okay, this definitely also depends on, right now, the Node.js Express app. Okay, we're going to expose. I want to say that it's outside on the left, inside on the right. So I think it's 8081, 8080. And then environment variables, I don't have any. We should probably set something up like this. But I'm going to hold off. We're going to do like a hello world, and I'll add this in when we need to. So this is what we need right now. Are you done building? Okay, so it's installing Strunk, so it's almost there. If I try to do both the Docker Compose up again, and this is running at the same time, then not great things would happen. It would slow the system down way too much. So this is the negative of Rust development. Because it does so much checking and like safety stuff at compile time, that unfortunately means that it takes a long time to compile. So this is the trade-off. Like, because some people will think like, oh, all those benefits are like amazing. Why wouldn't you want to use Rust? Well, I mean, there's quite a few reasons why you might not want to choose Rust. This is a big one. Is compile time can be quite costly. That being said, like, it's getting better through the years, but it's still like, I don't think it's ever going to be as fast as like other languages that don't have to worry about all this type of stuff. That was the code space yelling at me about utilizing all the CPU that they've given me. Once I do this once, as long as I don't make any big changes, the caching system should make it a lot faster for subsequent rebuilds. In other news, I have a secret project that I'm working on, or that I just started like yesterday. That I have about like a little over a month to get done. So that's like my after work project right now. But I need the Twitch chat working, and so I loaded up the old the Twitch chat wrapper. And it wasn't working. I wasn't able to compile it. So like the Get the Streamer game, the Asteroid game, none of those are working anymore. So I need to figure out what's going on there. I rolled back the version of Rust and tried reinstalling. That didn't work. So I think that there's something else. I think that either Twitch updated their end, or like the libraries that I have are no longer working for me, and I need to like retry something else. That being said, there are new Twitch chat libraries in Chris.io, so I'm gonna be able to play with some of those, or we might go back to Museum's Twitch chat. We're so close. It's on the compile of trunk. Also, this would have been perfect if I had one of those games that was working. I could play it here, but alas, it's not. Okay, there we go. So it's finished trunk. A nice quick 398 seconds. Okay, so that was built here. So now I should be able to do. I'm gonna come back to you. Let's do a down. Okay, so you know what? We can do as a profile thing, can't we? So what is the profile dev? I'm not seeing any profiles. Oh wait, here it is. I have a profiles for CI/CD. Oh, that's it. Like profiles dev doesn't even exist. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna set this up. So profiles, then it's just dash. So I'm gonna use Rust Yew is the name of the profile here. Node.js Express that we do need right now for Rust Yew. API test. I don't want that up right now. JS View, we don't need that. Rust Yew, obviously yes. And Cypress, I don't need that. Okay, so we're gonna do a Docker compose profile Rust Yew up. Does not like line 13. How did they get a dash there? Okay, so the expose is invalid, should be a format port protocol. Okay, so that doesn't like... Oh, okay, we have expose and ports. So here, expose 8080, and then ports 8081 to 8080. There we go. Okay. Now this should be a very fast rebuild for everything because Docker caches all the stuff. So unless I change the Docker file, it won't have to rebuild that. Okay, so our backend is up and running. JS View is going up. I guess if you don't put a profile on it, it starts every time. I probably don't need that. And that blew out my history. Okay. So first of all, I don't see 8081 working. JS View is not running. Okay, so Rust View is not running. Profiles Rust View. Did I not tell it Rust View? I thought I did. Docker compose profile Rust Yew up. Rust Yew profiles Rust Yew. So that brought up JS View. Okay, so let's give. We'll call this JS View. Let's do this one, Node.js Express. then this one profiles can also be JS Express. And then the database, I want it to always come up. So I don't need a profile. Okay. Oh, okay. Error getting canonical path, the source HTML file, index HTML. Okay, I know what's going on there. Also, it looks like this is the more correct level of stuff going on. So in our Docker file, we are not telling it that it should be in code. We're just putting the code in there, but then having it run this trunk serve from slash. So I need to do a workdir of slash code. I guess I need to tell it to rebuild. I thought maybe it would like sense the changes of the file, do like a diff on that, but I guess not. Let's see. Docker compose. I always forget the name of this command. It is -- build. Okay, so and this is on the up, so -- build. Oh, okay. It's not after the up. It's before the profiles, I think. Can I just do build? Oh, there it is. I because of the new line, I didn't realize that there wasn't a space in there. So it is space -- build. Okay, so now we have our Node Express app running and our database running and our Rust Yew application running. It says it's running on port 8080, but we can see here that it's port 8081 internally. So I should be able to come here and go to local host 8081. And here is the lovely app that we sort of set ourselves. It's just a simple counter app. So that's not great. Also, this sort of like white background is not fun. But that's like the basics of what we got here. I also need to be writing down a list of what we need course-wise. So, okay, so this is course plan. I won't put like an order in it yet. I'll do that as we go through and sort of like build this out. So I guess like setting up Yew and getting that going. Probably an introduction to getting Yew installed. It's like installing and setting up Yew. Even though I think I'm gonna have a bunch of that already set up in the Docker file ready to go. Oh, so yeah, might just do like an overview of that. It'll be interesting. Okay, so we have this. Now if we come back to main.rs, this is all that code that's set up this very, very simple counter app. So first thing I want to do is start moving things away. So I guess like that's another one. It's like the hello world, right? Hello world, or I guess like getting the counter app going. Counter example app running. And then I think the next thing I want to do here is set up a hello world app. Okay, so how do I want to do a hello world app? I want to come over here to source. I want to create a new library file. This library file is sort of like auto-exposed, kind of, sort of, to main. So I can just put stuff in here, mark it as public, and then main can sort of like get that out. So looking at what we have in here, this is like state management stuff. I don't need any of this. I don't need this impl component for model. I don't need any of that. What I want to do is I want to say this is going to be, I'm going to follow the same pattern that we have in all the other front-end frameworks and name that sort of like introductory master, what is it called? The main component app. So we need Yew. We do start app, we pass it app, which means we need app. So, do I not have? Kind of important. Rust Analyzer is the extension of choice that I have. The community has really rallied around it. So this is the extension. If you want to play with Rust, get this installed. There is a Rust Analyzer for pretty much everything that you can think of. You couldn't detect? Do I need to tell Rust Analyzer where this code is? Oh, I bet I do. Because I don't think I can start it at the root of the other project, can I? Oh, that's interesting. I could create a workspace out here, I think. I need to remember how to do that. Rust workspace. Okay, so I just need a cargo.toml. So out here, need a cargo.toml, and then we're just gonna add in this. So workspace, members, and then I think I wonder if I can do this as like members and then a link to it. So I want to say go to / front end Rust Yew. Maybe it's thinking about it. If not, then I'll need to rethink. Well, I'll need to figure out and set up like the other computer that has Docker stuff that I easily on it, or figure out Docker on this computer. It's certainly running a lot longer than it did this the first time we set it up, which is a good sign. Okay, so in the meantime, we want to set up an app component. Ooh, root scanned. I think it's getting here. So I want to do a use. So the use statement is the equivalent of the require or the import statement in JavaScript. So the stuff that we were just doing, like for example, in JS View app, where we did this like import, that is, okay, don't need you. That is the equivalent of this U. This is use here. So in lib, I want to do use U prelude. Okay, so just bring everything in. Then I want to hub. I want to create this as a function if I can. So like a pub function app. So we're going to return HTML. Think like that. We can use the HTML macro. And this is the equivalent of JSX in React. So I can now just type in like an H1 hello world. And that is legal. Oh, right. I can't just do stuff in here because it does freak out. So I have to do something like that. Is it 2? It's not 2. I need to go look at the documentation. It's been just long enough and outside of Vue that I forgot the syntax. Let's see. Examples. HTML. Oh, strings. I need to put it in a string. Okay, so it's just a single. And then these go in a string like that. There we go. And then I need to mark this as a component. So I think that documentation also helps us out here. Function components. And I want this function component here. So function component. and then your app. And so this is going to now essentially take this and then turn it into an app, which then I should be able to extract here. So import. I don't need this Yew prelude anymore. And then this should start up the entire application. Now I don't remember if, oh, it does. Okay, so Rust Yew, the trunk, recaught the changes and it recompiled. So I should be able to come back to here, and here's our hello world. Poly Insecure. Oh, you have a deadline for a video? Well, good luck with that deadline. Yew does sound like a type of grass, doesn't it? Okay, so that is our very basic hello world, which is like the main app of that. If I wanted to use a different, let's come back to here. So we have hello world app, and then call it like hello world component. So let's say I want a component and I want to do the same thing we did elsewhere. I want to have a folder of components. And inside of here, we're going to put in a hello world. And then I want to use that here instead of this H1. Okay, so the way that would work is we're gonna do that entire, we don't really have to do the entire prelude thing every single time we can. It certainly makes things a little bit easier, but if we have Rust Analyzer working, it can automatically tell us where stuff is, which is gonna be really easy to deal with. So I'm gonna want to do, let's see, we just want that functional component. So functional, what is it? It's function component. And this is gonna be hello world as the name of the component. I do need to bring in, this is like a snippet of code that's available inside of Rust for us. So I do need to bring in use Yew function component. You're upset because I don't actually have a function here. So pub function world. I'm not going to take anything in right this second. We're going to return HTML. Oh, you know why it's upset? Because this is a different folder here. So to bring in different things, I forgot. It's not a. So this is something where like JavaScript is nice, is that I can just like do a use directly to hello world. So if I try to do that here, if I try to say from library use like hello, I guess like components / hello world, it's very, 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 very upset at us. So the best that I can do here is I can say, do the use up there, I'll do a mod components. And that tells it, hey, there is a folder named components in here. So it's expecting the equivalent of like an index.js inside of that file that it's going to automatically grab up. And I can't reach in there directly and just go into a hello world. So instead, I'm going to create a new file called mod.rs, so short for module. And then inside of here, we're going to do a pub mod hello world, which dashes are not not happy in Rustland. So I'm going to rename you to just hello_world. So, hello_world. Now we're getting, everything is working out much nicer for us. So I want to pull in, it doesn't know how to pull that in. Okay, so function component, if I want to also pull in HTML, this syntax allows me to pull in both at the same time. And then HTML, I'm going to use this macro. And then this is going to be our H1. I'm surprised it knows what that type is. I'm not telling it to pull in a type. I wonder if it's going to yell at me in compile time. Okay, so back to the main library. I mod this component. Now I want another, I guess I do want to put this up top. I want to do a use. So this is going to be use into components. And then : instead of slash, sort of like dive into it. So hello world, that's the module itself. And then I want to grab this out of it. And then inside of here, let's say we have this being just like a div. And then I want to use hello world. Like that. Perfectly legal. And there we are with a hi there. So that's now how we can break out of this component. Let's see. What's next that's important for us to know about? Probably properties. Properties would be coming up. But it's 8:15, and unfortunately, I have a meeting coming up in 15 minutes. It's my super early meeting of the week. This is the earliest meeting that I have at work, but unfortunately, I need to go and get ready for it. And then I'll do my day. And hopefully, I will. Yesterday, I woke up on time. It was so cold, I just went right back to bed instead of getting up. So tomorrow, hopefully, I will brave, just like today, brave the cold and get here in time to stream again. And if not, I'll be back on Sunday. But I'm really happy. We're back in Rust. We're playing around with a Yew again, which is always a pleasure. And it's gonna be interesting. So with that, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time, whenever that is. Bye.